Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking the sources you shared and, well, we're heading straight to Iceland, the land of fire and ice. And we're
Mhm.
not talking about those big, flashy geysers that, erupt for the tourists. We're looking at something much more fundamental, a constant, almost overwhelming force from deep underground.
And that force has a name, Deildartunguhver. It's located in the Reykholtsdalur Valley in West Iceland.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really get a handle on the sheer scale of this one geothermal feature. It's officially Europe's most powerful hot spring, at least by flow rate.
By flow rate, okay.
And we're going to trace its influence, see how this single boiling spring fuels Iceland's economy, how it's woven into its history, and even how it anchors this really high-end, modern wellness industry.
We have to start with the numbers because the output is just staggering. It's not like Strakuru where you wait around for a big blast of water.
No, not at all. This is
So
relentless.
what are we talking about exactly?
We are talking about 180 liters of water every
Yeah.
single
The second.
second. That's like 380 pints.
Exactly. Pouring out of the ground, 247, and it's boiling hot, coming out between 97 and 100 degrees Celsius. It's like a subterranean forge that just never, ever quits.
So you have this incredibly powerful feature right in the Reykholtsdalur Valley, which is a big stop on the Silver Circle tourist route.
It is.
How did they even begin to manage that? I mean, taking what is essentially a boiling river and making it useful must have been a huge challenge.
Well, the usefulness is tied directly to the geology. Deildartunguhver is so powerful because it's right near the mid-Atlantic ridge where the tectonic plates are literally pulling apart.
Oh.
So that creates these deep fissures. Surface water goes down, gets superheated by magma, and then rushes back up with all this pressure and volume. It's basically a perfect renewable energy battery.
An endless battery. But the real game changer was the decision to pipe it. And not just locally. We're talking about district heating for towns that are pretty far away. That is the engineering marvel of it all. They built what's known as the longest geothermal water pipeline in the world. This was not a small project.
And the scale is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. It serves two main towns, right?
Yes, two main towns and the surrounding areas. First you have Borgarnes, which is 34 kilometers away.
Okay, that's already a good distance.
And then you have Akranes, a whopping 64 kilometers from the spring itself.
64 kilometers. Wait, how's it that even possible? I mean, I know Iceland is big on geothermal, but the heat loss over that distance? The water must be lukewarm by the time it gets there, right?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? And that's what makes this a global engineering showcase. They had to invent solutions for thermal efficiency. They use these advanced double-walled pipes with vacuum seals or super efficient mineral wool insulation.
So they basically built the world's longest thermos bottle.
That is the perfect analogy, and the
Yeah.
efficiency is just astounding.
So what are the numbers?
The water goes into the pipe at nearly 100 degrees Celsius. After traveling all 64 kilometers to Akranes, it still arrives at people's homes at between 70 and 80 degrees.
That's incredible. It's just a tiny drop in temperature.
A minuscule loss.
And that really brings it home for anyone there. If you're taking a shower in a town 64 kilometers away, that hot water is coming directly from this one single source. It's the lifeblood for nearly 10,000 people.
And it's not just heating homes. Right at the source, the heat has created this whole other local economy in agriculture.
You mean the greenhouses in subarctic Iceland?
Absolutely. They use the geothermal heat to create these controlled, almost tropical microclimates. Our sources say they grow everything: tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers.
I think I read about bananas even.
Yes, even bananas have been grown there successfully. It's this amazing piece of sustainable farming.
And you can see it firsthand. We read about places like the Stalldreed food truck selling tomatoes that were literally grown a few feet away, all heated by the earth.
And that local tradition of baking rye bread, they just bury the dough in the hot ground and let the geothermal heat bake it slowly. It's about as direct a use of that raw power as you can get.
Okay, let's shift gears from the modern engineering to the history, because the spring has been important for a long, long time.
That's right. Long before any steel pipes, locals were obviously using it. Archaeology has found evidence of old wooden ducts, like 80 or 90 years old, that carried the boiling water 600 meters to a farmhouse for heating and washing.
But the real historical weight of this place comes from the medieval period, from the nearby village of Reykholt.
Reykholt, yeah. That was the home of probably the most important figure in Icelandic medieval history, Snorri Sturluson.
Snorri Sturluson, he was a huge deal, wasn't he?
A towering figure. He was a politician, a historian, a poet, the law speaker of the Althing, which was their national parliament.
And for anyone who isn't a huge fan of the Norse sagas, why is he so important?
Because he's the reason we know them. He wrote or compiled the Prose Edda and the Heimskringla. The Prose Edda is basically our main source for all the myths of Odin, Thor, Loki.
Wow.
Without Snorri, a huge chunk of that whole mythological world would just be lost.
So he was a keeper of the culture, living right next to this powerful spring.
And he was an early engineer, too. While he was living there, he built his own stone-lined bath, the Snorlog, which was fed by the local thermal system. It's still there today.
No way.
Yeah. And it's basically one of the earliest examples of geothermal district heating we know of. He harnessed the Earth's heat for his home centuries before anyone else.
That's amazing. But there's a more recent piece of history, too, about the ownership of the land, the Sigurd story.
Yes, for almost 200 years, the land belonged to one family, and the last owner was a woman named Sigurd Bjornsdottir. She was very protective of it. She believed the water had these powerful healing properties.
The state stepped in.
It did. The spring was deemed too vital a national resource to be in private hands, so the land was expropriated to allow the big public heating project to go ahead.
Such an interesting transition from the sort of mystical private guardianship to a massive public utility. But there's one last historical detail that I think is just fantastic. The story of the fern.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The loneliest fern. This is one of my favorite parts.
So what's the story?
The constant heat and steam from the spring creates this tiny, unique microclimate. And in that little zone, a very rare endemic fern grows. It's called Struthiopteris phallax.
Okay.
And since it was discovered back in 1876, it has never been found anywhere else in Iceland, just there.
So how does a tiny plant change a massive infrastructure project?
Because in 1978, the fern was legally protected. So when the engineers were drawing up the final plans for the pipeline in '79, their original design was to build a big concrete structure right over the main spring to capture all the heat.
But the fern.
But the fern. They were legally forced to scrap the plans. They had to leave the main spring uncovered, open to the air, to ensure the fern's survival. They chose to protect the species over capturing every last bit of thermal energy.
That says so much about Iceland's priorities, an ecological win over pure industrial need.
It really is. The value of that unique little plant was seen as greater than the value of a few more calories of heat.
Okay, let's pivot from rare plants to modern luxury, because right next door to the spring is the Krama Geothermal Spa.
Yes, opened in 2017. It's often talked about as a more intimate, quieter alternative to the Blue Lagoon.
And this is where the whole story really comes together, isn't it? This core paradox.
Exactly. They take the raw, boiling 100-degree water from Deildartunguhver, but obviously you can't bathe in that. They have to cool it down.
And how they cool it, that's the part of the story that's so profound.
It is. They mix the boiling water with pure, freezing cold glacial water.
And where does that glacial water come from?
It's piped from a nearby gorge, and its source is a mountain called Oaicite. But Oku, it used to be known as Oaicite.
Oaicite, so Yukul means glacier.
Exactly. It used to be Iceland's smallest glacier. But due to climate change and rapid melting, it officially lost its status as a glacier in 2014. It was declared dead.
So wait, if you're bathing at Krama, you're literally sitting in a mix of water from Europe's most powerful hot spring,
A symbol of the Earth's enduring power.
blended with water from a glacier that no longer exists because of climate change.
Precisely. It's fire and ice, but with this incredibly powerful modern message. They even put a plaque on the mountain in 2019. It's titled A Letter to the Future, and it's a memorial to the lost glacier.
Wow, that's really something to think about while you're relaxing. So what's the actual spa like?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's all about purity and variety. There are 6 baths. 5 are warm pools at different temperatures from like 37 to 41 Celsius.
And the sixth.
The 6th is a cold plunge tub. It's kept between 5 and 10 degrees. It's for that traditional Nordic hot and cold contrast therapy, great for circulation.
And all the other high-end spa amenities are there.
Oh, yeah. Saunas, a steam bath, a relaxation room with a fireplace, the works.
But the real key is the water itself. Given that insane flow rate from the spring, they don't have to treat it, do they?
Not at all. The water in the pools is constantly being replaced by the natural flow.
Oh.
It cycles through so fast that they don't need to add any chemicals. No chlorine.
So it's completely pure.
It's pure, mineral-rich water, straight from the earth, and, well, straight from the mountain.
For anyone planning a trip, what else is right there in the immediate area?
You're just a short drive from 2 famous waterfalls, Hraunfossar and Barnafoss.
Ronfoster is the one that comes out of the lava field, right?
Yeah, the lava falls, it's incredible. It's not one big cascade. It's thousands of little rivulets streaming out from under the edge of a lava field. It's stunning. And then you have Barnafoss, the Children's Falls, which is much more turbulent and has a dark local legend attached to it.
And if you want to go underground,
Gilmir Lava Cave is right there. It's one of the largest lava tubes in Iceland. You can literally walk through the underworld that created this landscape.
Okay, so to wrap this up, let's just track that power one last time to the towns it serves. Borgarnes and Akranes.
Right, so Borgarnes, 34 kilometers away, is a major port and service town. Culturally, it's famous for its connection to Eagle's saga.
One of the great Icelandic sagas.
It is. The settlement center there is fantastic. It's all about that story and the age of the first settlers.
And then Akranes at the end of the line, 64 kilometers away.
Akranes has always been a fishing town, but since the mid-20th century, it's become a center for heavy industry.
What kind of industry?
A huge cement plant, and since 1998, an aluminum smelter. And that's a business that needs enormous amounts of cheap, reliable energy.
Which is exactly what this geothermal resource provides.
Exactly. This one spring isn't just giving people hot showers. It's underpinning the entire industrial economy for a region 64 kilometers away.
So we've gone from a boiling hole in the ground to medieval sagas, a fight over a single fern, and now to powering heady industry.
The scope is just immense.
And I think if you're going to take one thought away from this whole deep dive, it has to be that balance you find at the Krama Spa.
It is the ultimate paradox, isn't it? You're soaking in this raw, powerful water from the heart of the earth.
A symbol of this endless elemental force.
But the only thing that makes it comfortable, the only thing that makes it enjoyable, is that it's being mixed with the cold, pure water from Oaicite.
A dead glacier.
The dead glacier. A memorial to our changing climate. That mix of raw geothermal power and climate vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's the perfect metaphor for Iceland today. And that's
Yeah.
definitely something to mull over.